My friend Katie invited me over for dinner last week. We've had this tradition since college where whoever gets invited brings something to share. When I texted asking what I should bring, she said dessert would be perfect, but it had to be dairy-free because her 8-year-old daughter Emma recently stopped eating dairy. No problem. I had this amazing chocolate cake recipe that my mom taught me. No milk, no butter, no cream cheese frosting. Just flour, sugar, cocoa powder, eggs, oil, and vanilla. I'd made it dozens of times and it always turned out incredible. The dinner was going great. Katie made this amazing pasta dish and her husband grilled vegetables. When dessert time came, I proudly brought out my cake. Emma's eyes lit up when she saw the thick chocolate layers. She took a huge bite and immediately asked for seconds. Katie was raving about how moist and fluffy it was. Even her picky husband went back for thirds. Emma was practically bouncing in her chair asking if she could have cake for breakfast tomorrow. This is seriously the best dairy-free cake I've ever had, Katie said, cutting herself another slice. You have to give me the recipe right now. I grabbed my phone and started reading off the ingredients. 2 cups flour, 1.5 cups sugar, 3/4 cup cocoa powder. Emma was listening intently, probably planning to help her mom make it next weekend. And 3 large eggs, I finished. The kitchen went dead silent. Emma's fork froze halfway to her mouth. Her face crumpled and she burst into tears before running upstairs. We could hear her bedroom door slam from the kitchen. Katie stared at me like I'd just poisoned her kid. Why did you put eggs in a dairy-free cake? Because eggs make it fluffy, I said, confused. The recipe needs eggs for the texture and to bind everything together. But it's not dairy-free if it has eggs in it. I blinked at her. Yes, it is. There's no milk, no butter, no cheese, no cream, nothing from a cow. Katie shook her head. Dairy means anything that comes from an animal. Eggs come from chickens. My brain short-circuited. Wait, what? Since when are eggs dairy? They're in the egg section at the grocery store, not the dairy section. They're still animal products, she insisted. Okay, but by that logic, is honey dairy too? Because bees are animals. No, that's different. Bees are insects. I was so lost. But chickens are animals and bees are animals. Why is one dairy and the other isn't? Katie's husband was just sitting there eating his cake like nothing happened. Katie shot him a look and he mumbled something about checking on Emma before disappearing upstairs. Look, Katie said, Emma has been really strict about not eating anything from animals. We told her the cake was safe and now she feels betrayed. I felt terrible. I'm so sorry. I genuinely thought dairy just meant milk products. I've been making this cake for vegetarians for years and no one ever said anything. Well, maybe they were just being polite. That stung. I pulled out my phone and Googled, are eggs dairy, right there at the table. Every single result said the same thing. Eggs are not dairy. Dairy specifically refers to milk and milk products. Eggs are animal products, but they're not dairy. I showed Katie the screen. Look, even the FDA classifies eggs separately from dairy. She glanced at it and shrugged. I don't care what Google says. Emma considers eggs dairy and that's what matters in our house. I apologized again and offered to make a completely vegan cake next time, but the damage was done. Emma stayed in her room for the rest of the night. When I left, Katie barely said goodbye.